Do you know what happens when you pay some of the best engineers in the world enough money to throw their morals and privacy to the wind? Well, you get the FANG tech corporations and some of the very shady behavior they get themselves involved in. A prime example being this right here: disclosure. Covert web-to-app tracking via Localhost on Android. This is a very long and very technical full write-up on the situation. I'll leave it all linked in the description down below, which very coincidentally, when this was made public, they stopped doing it. What a weird coincidence. What a weird timing. Surely they're not related. Now, to save everybody quite a bit of time, someone else has gone and done a breakdown of that longer post. Localhost tracking explained. It could cost Meta $32 billion. Now, this is a theoretical $32 billion based on taking all of the different things they broke, all of the laws that could be sort of compounded together in a case. Is not actually something that is being proposed and something that probably they should have to pay. Meta devised an ingenious system, Localhost tracking, that bypassed Android sandbox protections to identify you while browsing on your mobile phone, even if you used a VPN, the browser's incognito mode, and refused or deleted cookies in every session. Basically, circumventing all of the basic protections in place to make sure they can't do that. And ingenious really is the right word. It's evil, it's scummy, but man, it's really smart. So here's where that $32 billion comes in. Meta faces simultaneous liability under the following regulations, listed from least to most severe: GDPR, DSA, and DMA. GDPR, DMA, and DSA protect different legal interests, so the penalties under each can be imposed cumulatively. The combined theoretical maximum risk amounts to approximately, sorry, not dollars, I said dollars before, 32 billion euros. 4% plus 6% plus 10% of Meta's global annual revenue, which surpassed 164 billion euros in 2024. Maximum fines have never before been applied simultaneously, but some might say these scoundrels have earned it. This is a theoretical maximum of what could happen. Now, what is actually going to happen? Probably nothing. Probably literally nothing. But we can dream. So what is Localhost tracking? This is the process through which Meta, Facebook, and Instagram manage to link what you do in your browser, for example, visiting a news site or an online store, with your real identity, your Facebook or Instagram account, even if you never logged into your account through the browser or anything like that. Meta accomplishes this through two invisible channels that exchange information. One, the Facebook or Instagram app running in the background on your phone, even when you're not using it. Now, you do need to actually be logged into Facebook or Instagram for this to have happened. If you don't use those applications, you've never logged in, you don't have an account, there was never any concern here. The problem is a lot of people are logged in and a lot of people do have those accounts, so yeah, that's a problem. 2. Meta's tracking scripts, which operate inside your mobile web browser. Now, all of the actual real work here goes to the original authors. This is something which nobody would have known about if they hadn't done this work. So, step number 1 to Facebook tracking everything you do. The user opens the native Facebook or Instagram app, which eventually goes into the background and creates a background service to listen for incoming traffic on a TCP port, 1238.7 or 1238.8, and a UDP port, the first free port between 1258.0 and 1258.5. Users must have logged in with their credentials in the apps. So, in other words, you open the Facebook or Instagram app like normal, then you do something else on your phone, the app remains running in the background. Without telling you, the app keeps running and listens for traffic. Technically, it does this by opening local network ports through which it can receive messages. It's important to clarify that this only happens if you've logged into those apps with your account. Again, if you are not a Facebook user, if you don't use the apps, nothing to have been concerned with here. Now, there might be other things to be concerned with, but this specifically isn't a problem. Step number 2, you visit a website. Let's say you're into, I don't know, wiki feed, whatever your go is, doesn't really matter. The user opens their browser and visits a website that integrates Meta's Pixel. What is the Meta Pixel? Basically, it is Meta's analytics tool for your advertising campaigns. So a lot of websites out there, not every single one of them, there are a lot that don't, but the ones that do meta advertising, they're going to integrate this to know how well that's actually going. This is a very important part to making sure this whole issue works. So if you didn't visit a website that integrates the Meta Pixel, again, nothing is being done here. There's no hidden way the information is being shared. But if you do, well, now you have a problem. You open your browser on the same phone, you turn on your VPN, you go into incognito mode, and confidently you think, I am completely hidden. They will have no idea what I'm doing right now. They'll have no idea that I like feet.
My, what lovely feet.
But even though at this stage it is going to be anonymous, the Pixel is going to collect various bits of information, that's relevant to advertising, like where you click, where you visit, things you might purchase, things like that, and send it to Meta. What has now been proven is that before you even have the chance to give consent, the Pixel starts the localhost tracking process we're explaining here. Theoretically, this should have been explained when asking for cookie consent. Obviously though, it wasn't. Step 3 is where the de-anonymization happens. The WebPixel talks to the Facebook/Instagram app using WebRTC. The MetaPixel script sends the FBP cookie to the native Instagram or Facebook app via WebRTC stun using SDP modification SDP munging. The Pixel script in your browser tries to send information to the Facebook Instagram app that's listening in the background. It uses a technique called WebRTC, normally used for voice or video calls like Zoom, like Google Meet, like Discord, a bunch of other things. But here it's being used to transmit data between the browser and the app. Additionally, a technical trick called SDP munging allows the browser to insert data, like the FBP cookie identifier, into the WebRTC initial handshake message. In this way, the FBP, a temporary cookie supposedly limited to your current browser session, is sent directly to the native app that's listening. In other words, the website you didn't want anyone to know you visited just passed your identification cookie to your Facebook/Instagram app. Step number 4, the MetaPixel script also sends the FBP value in a request to www.facebook.com/tr, along with the other parameters such as the page URL, website, browser metadata, and the event type, page view, add to cart, donate, purchase. So basically, it is sending the data to 2 separate locations, one to the app which you are logged into, and 2 to Facebook servers. So it has the anonymous version being sent directly to Facebook servers, but also it's going to the app where it directly has your identity. And step number 5, the app receives the message and links it to your real identity. The Facebook or Instagram app receives the FBP cookie from the MetaPixel JavaScript running in the browser. The app transmits FBP as a GraphQL mutation to this link right here, along with other persistent user identifiers, linking the user's FBP ID, the web visit, with their Facebook or Instagram account. And just like that, they link your web activity in the browser to your real identity, your account, even if you never logged into your account in that browser or gave any explicit consent for it. This is something that Android is supposed to stop. But this is also something where it's really not the way you're supposed to handle this data. And this is clearly interacting with loopholes here that should not be there. So again, Meta managed to do this when you aren't using the app, but you do have a session in the background, you haven't logged into your account in the browser, you're browsing in incognito mode, you're using a VPN, and you delete cookies at the end of every session. Once again, Meta has blatantly disregarded the requirement to obtain user consent before collecting and combining personal information from different sources. This is really big. 22% of the most visited websites in the world are affected. In the US, 17,223 sites with the MetaPixel and 1,312 with Yandex Metrica initiated this tracking without user consent. Over 8 years for Yandex and over 9 months for Meta, billions of users were tracked without their knowledge. Yes, they're also involved in this as well. The main focus was Meta, but Yeah, that's also part of this. The captured data includes complete browsing history with specific URLs, products added to cart and purchases made, registration on websites and completed forms, temporal behavior patterns across websites and apps, direct linking to real identities on social networks. Basically, everything that is being collected by their analytics tool is being linked directly to you as an individual. Now, you would not be affected if you access Facebook and Instagram via the web without having the apps installed on your phone and just don't log into those apps. You browse on desktop computers or use iOS, or you use the Brave browser or the DuckDuckGo search engine on mobile, or I would assume uBlock Origin probably deals with this as well. Now, the rest of the piece goes into a breakdown of how the expenses or how the fines could play out here. I don't really find that part too interesting. So I'll leave that for you guys to explore for yourself. But, Meta. We love Meta. And, as I said earlier, when the disclosure was made, that kind of just vanished. All of this stuff never happened. We didn't do anything. You can't see it, so there's no proof of it happening. As I said, I see absolutely nothing coming of this, but hey, I could be wrong. I won't be though. So if you like the video, go like the video. If you really like the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, check out the Patreon, subscribe to Liberapay, linked in the description down below. That's gonna be it for me, and you know I'm right. You know it's never gonna happen. You know nothing's gonna come of this.